Who you got there? Who that?
It's just my baby mama.
Nice.
Not really. I jinxed Clarissa, Jason. Have you heard?
No.
This Clarissa. Clarissa, get in frame so people can see you. Half your face.
This one.
This Clarissa. You've never met her, Spoon, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Y'all talk on the phone a lot. We just hired Clarissa to help us out with whatever we need help with. She thought she was coroned, so she had assumed that she was coroned. And anyways, what did I say when you said you were coroned?
Stay away, I hope.
She doesn't even remember. She told me, she was like, I got a headache. And I'm like,
I'm not pregnant.
oh, never mind. Never mind. I'm not even touching this subject anymore. Like, I don't want to talk about it no more. It's no longer fun. We're out of this. Like, I should have talked about it. Anyways, doesn't matter. Just that whole first part, just throw it out the window. This is Carissa. She's going to help us out. She does our text messaging through Batch Lead. What is it? Stacker?
Batch Lead Stacker.
Yes, I have an affiliate link. I'm currently not taking any pay from the company. So if y'all want to support my family, please go get on that R2R affiliate link on Batch, which I might post in the comments or something.
I may start a GoFundMe. I got to find a gimmick though, just to generate the incomes.
I gotta find out how to share this into the group, man. It's been a weird day already. The day ain't even got started yet.
I'll share it real quick. Hold up.
Yeah, you share it and I'll share it. You know how Facebook algorithms be. They don't want us to win, especially not on YouTube. Man, Uncle Si's got a YouTube channel. There's some stuff for your quarantine.
I'll tell you what, buddy. I hope Uncle Si makes it through this because that dude's an American treasure. He's amazing.
Man. We in there though, man. So today,
I mean, he's not Miley Cyrus kind of American treasure, but he's his own kind.
damn.
Hey, Clarissa, I was fixing to text you. I need you to call that lady back. That's Dad was supposed to put in a co-application because we still ain't got it from her.
Okay.
That allegedly that person had already rented from us.
No, it's a different person. That's a different person. We got two applicants. One is already supposedly rented from us.
They have, but I told them, I was like, hey, we can accept that application if they'll pay our balance that they owe us.
Or we don't tell them that we're the same company and just take $1,000 down. Say, well, you've got this weird stuff on your record. You give us $1,000.
No. Hey, you owe us X number of dollars. You pay us that back, you can move in over here. Seems like the perfect scenario. And if they say no, I don't have to rent to them. I was like, I don't see a problem with it if they're ready to pay what they already owe us. It's income tax season. Everybody's about to get them. I'm adopting kids right now, Spoon. You realize? I don't know if this is factual. I have no idea if it's true, but they're putting $1,000 per kid on that that stimulus.
It sounds like I'm about to hit the lottery.
It's actually, I think, $500 per kid, but in a household you can't go over $3,500.
Don't matter.
Depending on
like all I know is if I have a kid with you and you're out there watching, now is not the time to not tell me. Like, come forward. Come.
I feel like there's a higher amount of single mothers that have Corey Thompson's kids than not in the state of Texas.
I don't know.
I feel like there's going to be a movie about you one day where 300 kids go to 23andMe and they figure out they're all your dad.
Funny ass story, Spoon. Funny as fuck. So when I was 19, I was working in the oil field. I
don't know. This is going to be a great story.
It's a great story. So 19, I'm working in the oil field, and there's this real weird situation that plays out. So we grew up in this trailer house out in the country, but then my sister had developed a rare form of epilepsy. So my dad rented her a house in Mejia. So whenever I was at work, I would stay at this house because my sister was never there. In the most like white trash way ever, my sister let her ex-boyfriend move into that house. And he's a cool cat. Like me and him are still friends today.
I mean,
So
far, this is every redneck story.
yes. So my sister's ex-boyfriend lives at this house. My sister lives with her new boyfriend in a new house, and my dad pays the rent, right? I work on a drilling rig, and sometimes I'm in the area, and I stop off and sleep there. I decide, I'm like, hey, I'm just going to start staying at this house full time. So I basically move in the house. I had a great 19th year. I had a jet ski and a motorcycle, and it was all yellow. My truck, jet ski, and motorcycle all matched. I was living the American dream in my sister's house that my dad paid the rent at. So I was basically Dalton on steroids. There I am sitting there one day, and my buddy John gets a letter, and he's like, oh, fuck. And I'm like, what? And so he worked at the state school as like a caretaker or something. And one of his coworkers let him claim her kids on his taxes.
That's nice.
Have you ever seen this? Like,
Yes.
or maybe she didn't. Maybe it wasn't a coworker. It doesn't matter.
What qualifies as dependent is so open. Like, it can be your nieces, nephews that you don't even have control over.
It doesn't matter. So he claims this lady's kids on his taxes, right? And he didn't ask the sex of the kids.
Okay.
So one of the names was like, I don't know, like I don't remember what the name was, but it was a name that could be either sex. And he checked the wrong box.
Damn.
And so they were auditing him. And he had to pay it back with interest. And anyways, that was whenever I learned if you're going to claim some lady's kids on your taxes, you better damn well make sure that you at least know what sex they are, because wasn't it? But I see a lot of that happening in the Trump bill. If it goes forward as planned and they're going to give out money for kids, all of a sudden baby daddies all over will be showing up in their kids' lives.
Bro, I'm not I don't know. I'd be willing to bet. I'd be willing to bet there's a lot of unclaimed children that are going to get written off here. But
what I was thinking about what to do with Emory's $1,000 if it really was $1,000. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so Emory's going to get $1,000, and then I got to thinking, I was like, I don't think I'll even get a shot at that. Like, her mom will probably have that button filed right off the bat. Like, you know what I mean? And so I was going to ask her mom, be like, hey, what are y'all going to do with that $1,000? We should probably donate it to whatever that thing that Emory was raising money for, unless you need it.
The playground.
Yeah, that playground. Yeah, I think that would be a good place to go with it, or maybe give it to somebody that has some hardship. And if it's a loan, if we're going to pay it back, don't take it at all. Like, I don't know, man. Give it to a family that needs it. Faux show. So,
are you? Can you hear my computer beeping?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I'll try to figure that out. It's all my people. People are texting me my VAs. Let me see if I can turn that off.
What is the VA saying?
Well, so we got two teams right now, right? A South American team and an Asian team. The Asian team in the Philippines, 1/3 of their country is on lockdown, hardcore lockdown. The same thing with the team in South America and Ecuador. They're experiencing the same thing. So,
damn, Spoon.
Well, the girl texted back.
The girl texted back.
What'd she say?
Her dad said if he's gonna co-sign, then he gets a say in where she lives, so she can't live there.
Okay.
God, damn.
I figured if I get it, that's fine. We need to hit up old boy and tell him to pay us some money back and he can live there.
No, what you need to do is try to put her on Belknap.
Okay. Tell her, can you text her about the other property?
Say we have another one. What's the rent on the other one?
800.
800? What was it?
Well, you rented it for 800. We were running out at 862. So you rented it 800 last time. I'm pushing it at 8 right now just to get it rented.
Okay. So what do we have our VAs doing? What are they working on?
Well, the one in Asia, so there's two. We don't have a big team. We got two in Asia. One of them is calling right now, and she's just calling
What dollar is she calling off of?
Call tools.
Okay.
She's been texting me about, so I've got them all set up where they can text me off of their Google Voice numbers and stuff, which is easier than using Upwork. But she texts me if she's got any questions. So far, she's gotten 2 leads I got to follow up with this morning. So we'll see what's up.
Okay.
But
what does Call Tools do?
it's $1.
Why do we use it versus Mojo? Explain to the people, Spoon. Tell them, give them some value.
All of the above.
They're sitting right now in quarantine, shitting their guts out, thinking they got coronavirus. You're their only savior. You can teach them about Call Tools.
So
we're not.
we've used all of them. So basically every dollar nickel and dimes people to death in their own way. Mojo is nice. I like the Mojo front end better, but Mojo drives me crazy because they nickel and dime you over the craziest. Like every little thing's an extra upcharge.
That ain't why we use Call Tools, though.
Why do we use Call Tools? You tell me. See, you're like a girlfriend. You ask questions that you know the answer to.
I do.
Just so you can tell somebody else they're wrong.
Wait, no, I'm not telling you you're wrong. We use Call Tools because it does the text follow-up. You spent 3 days setting it up, and then you're going to talk about the penny ante charges on Mojo that I didn't even know existed.
It does do the text follow-up. And
the text follow-up is the key.
And we're constantly adjusting that right now. Like I was readjusting all of our voicemails earlier because I realized our voicemails were just dying. I didn't have it set up right. And I will say this about Call Tools. It's really good once you learn it. It's kind of a nightmare to learn because of where stuff is at. So
what we do with Call Tools, Spoon was nice enough to set it up for you. I'm sure while he's quarantined for a fee, he would set yours up.
Yeah, we can do that. And
so
we got to get Whitley set up during the quarantine too.
Do what?
We got to get Whitley's finished setting up during the quarantine too.
Well, Whitley's going to be Clarissa.
Okay. We'll get GPT set up for Clarissa to run on. Too.
Yes. So we're going to give Clarissa our leasing callbacks just to beat on people. We're going to give her 1 property a day and see what progress she makes. So that in and of itself, the whole Call Tool setup is because whenever you're dialing, so you're dialing. If they don't answer, it leaves them a voicemail automatically. It sends them a text, and then it puts them back in the queue to be called 5 minutes later. And then we'll also leave a voicemail and text. You can set it up, I guess, up to I don't know. Spoon always says 30 follow-up after that. So when you're dialing, you're not just dialing. You're texting. Ooh, that sounded a little Corona-ish.
You got the Wuhan.
Ooh.
But it's all General Tso chicken. It's stuck right there. Anyways,
it's that is why we use Call Tools. Setting it up has proved to be a little bit difficult, but it is what it is. Can you copy and paste? I mean, once you get it, can you is it like Podio? Can you recreate it?
No, but once you figure it out, it's really pretty simple. Like it's basically the way. The only thing that's confusing about it is the way they have stuff separated. Like the audio files for how you're setting up a voicemail are in a different place. You got to go over here to put together an audio file and save it, and then you got to go back over here to put together a voicemail, and then you have to go over here and you have to attach that voicemail to a campaign. Like if they just rearranged a few things, it'd be much more intuitive, but it is what it is. It works well. It's worked well for us. We've been working through some of the dispositions this morning. So I'm going to start requiring from now on all of our VAs to keep a log of general questions that they're sending us so that we can bang through those and use those to change our dispositions. We're just going to have a Google Live sheet on the fly so that every time we give an answer, no, use this disposition, or, oh, wait, we don't have a disposition for that. Let me go in there and slam one in. But the answer's already there. So that way they don't have to keep asking me questions.
We don't know what you're talking about, Spoon. I mean, somebody does, but nobody does.
Well, so disposition in the system is just like you're talking about, throwing them back into the queue when somebody calls.
You're using fancy words. See,
It-
you need to use redneck words, using them $20 words.
Well,
So disposition is just an answer.
Yes, and all that answer does is throw them in a container. It throws them in a file folder that says, these are all the people that want to be on a do not call list, or these are all the people that said screw your mama. Like, maybe we want to call them back, or maybe I want Brandon Nemi to call them back. Like, just
Right.
have fun with them. Or your homie from the oil field, he probably would love to call those people back.
Yes.
Just
No.
have a talk with them.
Yeah. So you're just putting them into a follow up box.
Yes.
Where later on we can come back to that box when we're bored and quarantined and jump in that box and start rabble rousing.
But
Because we already paid for the data. So if we're gonna do it. So that's
But-
good. But what about
the time saver there, though, so I've done this many times the wrong way, is answering questions for VAs. And I'm like, what would Corey do? You know, I got a little bracelet that says WWCY here, or CD.
off because I thought they were going
And putting that live sheet together is a huge time saver, because now that's just an FAQ. Like, here's the FAQ. Y'all go there and see if it answers your question. If it doesn't, you type in a new one. I'll answer it, and then we don't ever have to address that again. So that way, every VA can go hit that without asking me a question.
Right. And then whenever you onboard a new VA, you can just give that to them. So, but that's just for one facet of VAism. Right now, we've got VAs trying to lease. We've got VAs trying to sell owner finance. We have a lot of VA horsepower right now on the back end. And that's kind of crazy because we never utilized it. One of the things we've set up over the past 2 weeks, and Alexis, who is another person that we hired, has gotten really proficient at it. You didn't understand what I was telling you to do with her, that we can run ads and have ManyChat do the response from the ad. So we're running Facebook ads right now to lease properties, and to now I hope we're getting something set up to sell properties. And ManyChat is a really powerful tool that collects all the information from the people that correspond with the ad. So if somebody corresponds with the ad and their email is on their Facebook, their phone number's on their Facebook, it'll grab it. And we can then, not only the ManyChat will talk to them, so the chat bot talks to them all the way down to fuck you, or yes, I want to lease, you know, and I'm going to pay for an application. They get them flushed out of the other side of the system. But that doesn't mean that we can't take those boxes of emails, those boxes of phone numbers, and throw them into LiveCom and touch those people from other directions. So LiveCom, for instance, the LiveCom system is being pushed through ManyChat. So ManyChat, every response has a phone number for them to call. And if they call, then they're captured in the LiveCom. Then Whitley's texting them every day, right? So they're getting a text message from Whitley through LiveCom. Then at some point they show up in Clarissa's call box, and she's pushing them to get applications. So you've got ManyChat pushing for applications. You've got Whitley texting for applications. We've got what is going to be Clarissa for now, but eventually will be a VA calling to push applications. So every single lead that you capture in the top of that funnel is being beat down. And hopefully Alexis gets trained up here pretty soon on Constant Contact, and we'll be hammering them in their email for applications.
Well, I mean, we're kind of taking a step farther, and I don't want to not give credit where credit's due. Donnie Ruffin is the nice young man that kicked me in the sack and made me realize what we could do with VAs in a lot of ways that I'd never even thought about. We're literally building out essentially an agency in Asia right now that we can run up, run down, but have it manage itself based off of our methodology, the way we work. And it's kind of a self-sustaining entity. So if Clarissa's like, hey, I need 6 people to call back these 10,000 people tomorrow, I can call my homie that I've worked with for years now, that me and him sat down 2 weeks ago and put this agency together. He's recruiting for us, so we don't have to do it. He's training for us, so we don't have to do it. Huh?
Who's he? Nobody.
My VA.
Talking about Donnie.
No. He's my VA I've had in the Philippines for 3 years now that
Right.
I use on and off, and I wouldn't give his name for any amount of money.
Well, but that's the other thing. So once we have this agency set up, we're going to roll it out to our mastermind members. So all of the text marketing from Batch will be self-sustained in there. It'll be just a little flow that goes through all of our systems, and then we'll have the other arm of it, which is the leasing arm of it. So once we get the acquisition side hammered out, we're gonna set up the leasing side. We're gonna train out how to do leases and dispose of owner finance properties. So essentially, we'll have an agency that can dispose of owner finance, lease a property, or generate leads for you on the front side. And Spoon looks lost and confused.
No, I was checking something while you were bringing that up. Like, people don't understand like the value of that. I've been using VAs. My first name before Upwork, it was something else. My username was Witherspoon back when you could get just that. Like, I've been doing this for years and years and years now. I just clicked up to see because my screen recorder was up anyways. I have 122 videos right now loaded in my screen recorder. People don't understand the amount of time it takes to build out a team halfway around the world and what it takes, because what you have is a series of, hey, this is how we do it. This is how we do it. And you refine until you get to a point.
But the other thing is you have to do it. You have to do it. You have to know how to do it.
Yes. And that's what I'm saying. Like, y'all have no idea how many hundreds of hours I have in learning how to put that together.
I'm not even talking about learning how to put it together. You have to know how to call somebody to lease to get them to the next step, to be able to teach a VA to do it. So you've got to have hundreds of hours grinding on that. Like, it's like for us, most people don't realize this. We've been in this business for 5 years. For the first 3 years, it was me and Jacob. That's it. When we partnered with Stuart and Tyler early on in those 3 years, but we were managing just me and Jacob. We're managing probably 150 doors before we hired anybody. When you came on in 2017, so it's 2020 now. 2017 was the end of 2017, beginning of 2018, but we really didn't forge a partnership or start working together consistently till 2018. Well, no, we did 2019, but I look back to our first messages when I was in Cleburne in 2017, when I was beating into the old courthouse hustle. But anyways, you came in 2018, kind of helped us with the other side of the business, the acquisition side, but we've been property managers. We've been disposition for owner finance. We've been selling our own properties as far as wholesaling and all of that. And we got 3 years of fucking grinding that axe before we ever got any help. And then when we got help, we had to train all the help. You know what I mean? Which was, we still argue every day, Spoon, because I'm like, you should already know this.
People don't even understand. Well, so there's a lot of guys that we interact with that are managers in some capacity. I called and talked young Dalton off the ledge after you got a hold of him yesterday. And I thought he needed a little hug yesterday, so I called him. And I'm like, look, I've managed teams of people before. Like, this is just life. This is life right now. Decisions have to be made. Some of them suck.
If you got a whole list of properties to mow, a mower, gas, everything, and you're at your mom's house at noon.
Yeah, I got it, and I had that talk with him too. But my point is, man, I got sidetracked here. I was trying to make a point with using.
But you're managing people, training people.
People do not understand the cost of training somebody. Most people have no idea the real cost of training somebody. On average in corporate America, it works out to about 1 year's salary, whatever that salary is. By the time you train them up over the course of 2 or 3 years in multiple systems to do stuff.
And then they quit.
Exactly.
Because like somebody might work for you 3 months, find a better job, whatever, move, whatever, and quit. And you got to train somebody new.
So, and that's what people don't really have. Awesome. People are texting back on the dollar now. They're letting me know. Like the reason I brought up those videos is none of those videos could I send to a VA right now. That's 4 years of me individually sending stuff to somebody, or 2 years of me doing stuff. Now that we mapped it out, Corey, you don't know, we talked about this. I went out on Lucidchart the other day and started building out our flow end to end. And that's pages and pages and pages of stuff, end-to-end flow. And now that flow can be chunked up. It can be set with, here's a video on how to do this piece. Here's a video on how to do this piece. See this video, see this, see this, see this. And without the expertise of knowing how to do the business that I pull on all the time from you guys for stuff I don't understand, there's no way to do that. Like if you don't have a business system, you can't replicate a business system.
And that's been the hardest part for me, as you know, like right now, I told this to somebody pulls a gun out, they put it to Emery's head, and they say, Corey, you got a whiteboard. Yeah. I need you to flow chart how you buy a property sub 2. Need you to take it. Need you to just build a flow chart. Just write down the steps. You know what I mean? Do you know how hard that would be for me?
I do. And so did you ever do any technical routing classes?
No, but I got kicked out of school for stealing a bus, Spoon.
No, the reason I'm asking is try to tell somebody in Asia, a place that they don't eat peanut butter, how to go make a peanut butter sandwich.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not because I don't know I don't have fucking peanut butter. It's because I don't know how I do it. See a sub 2, I recognize it as a sub 2 instantly. Right? Because of these factors in my head that I can't pull out of my head. Right. I pitch like this because I hear this. I use this dialect whenever I hear this, but I don't know any of that, right? It's just something that happens. I'm just there. I'm in the moment. And I go from this to now I got a sub 2. I've got it locked up, and they're paying me to take it off my hands. I have no idea how it went from there to there. All I know is that when I was there and I heard this, I went here, and I went there, and then I went there. And if I play it back in my head and try to recreate it, it still doesn't matter because the next one's going to be a little bit different, right? The actual step that happens every time on that is also very hard because sometimes people aren't behind on their mortgage when you're taking their property sub 2, right? That's sometimes true. They are.
Sometimes the only sub 2 I bought, they weren't back on anything. They just wanted to get away from it.
That's right. Sometimes there's no equity, right? So you know, it's no equity, and you're like, well, why would I even take this? Well, because I can cash flow at $600 a month with rent because it's a 3.6% interest loan that I'm not going to get access to because, you know what I mean? So this will be a great rental for my portfolio, even though I'll never be able to sell it. I like that $600 a month as a rental, right? Sometimes it needs so much work that it's only going to be an owner finance or a flip, and it's going to need a whole bunch of equity. So there's all these boxes that you got to check because they're all different, right? And for me to flow chart that, I'm like, oh, well, I get here. You know, how many questions do I ask myself in my head when I'm right there in that moment? Most of the time, I don't even realize how many I just asked myself and answered. So that's when it's really hard for me.
Well, no, I 100% get it. And that's the reason I brought up the peanut butter. I had to do that in college in the technical routing class, which is like how to route manuals. And I didn't think about like, oh, hey, homie, you got to go to the store and buy white bread. Like these are all steps that we take for granted because there's white bread downstairs right now. Like, you know, it ain't Wonder Bread, it's HEB brand, but it is what it is. It's the fact that you got to tell somebody to cut open the container and use a knife or a spatula, but only those two. You can't spread with a spoon real good. Like all of that is the like, and I use that as an example all the time, but just making a peanut butter sandwich is infinitely complicated if you don't know any of it. To break down.
Good point, because like making a peanut butter sandwich is get peanut butter, get bread, put peanut butter on bread, put the bread together, got a sandwich, right?
And a jelly.
But well, it ain't even about jelly. I mean, you know, we gotta back all the way out to, you know, you gotta get white bread. You gotta go get some Jiffy Crunchy. It's the only shit that matters.
Oh, for sure. We don't do crunchy. That's sacrilegious. Don't bring that up in my house.
I mean, you know what I mean? Then you got to use this don't go dipping your plastic fork into a Jiffy Crunchy. You're just going to end up with a broke fork, or a broke butter knife. So you're gonna need some real steel in your hand when you get ready to dip into the Jiffy.
Right, and that's what. So that class was that one exercise. Everything else in that class, I was too drunk to remember. Like literally, I got a B in that class because I showed up every day, and the guy knew I was drunk, but he was happy about that. Like, or the lady, I can't remember. It was pretty cool. They were like, "Well, you need a B. We got you. You showed up every day." But I remember that one exercise and my programming logic class are the only two things I remember from college that really matter to me, because that's where I learned to really flowchart processes and break those down. And those processes are just like building that peanut butter sandwich. Is, oh shit, did we hit a dead end here? Because I'm always looking for a dead end. I need a yes or a no to get somewhere else. But if we get to like, you got to do these 17 things, and now these 17 things break down into 17 more things, that is a huge process that people have no idea the undertaking
right.
of.
And that's why, anyways, we're building this out and we're going to make it available to the mastermind members. And I mean, there's some people that wanted us to do turnkey leads for them. I mean, we could do that. I don't want to do that for general public. I don't want to offer it. I mean, I'll do it for friends.
I'll tell you why I don't want to offer it.
Stuff like that. Do what?
I'll tell you why I don't want to offer it. But I mean, this is just my opinion, is because that you hear something different than I do every time a lead comes in, right?
No.
And a lead to Corey Thompson is not somebody that's never picked up a phone.
It's not even that. Like, I get where you're going, because you're saying that our definition of lead wouldn't match their definition of lead.
Maybe it may and it may not, but all I'm saying is if they a month later they're like, "Why didn't you get one of those to turn?" Because they've never made a phone call.
Whoa. Opening that up to the general public, you're right. That is a nightmare scenario. But I'm not handing these off. We're not handing them off that soon.
Oh, okay.
We will know exactly what they want for it, how much they want for it. We'll know everything about it. We'll have underwrote it to where it's we either believe it's a listing, or you know what I mean. You have to try to negotiate them to here. But no, we're not handing it off as, oh yeah, they said they wanted to sell. You know what I mean? They'll have a price in mind and all that by the time we hand it off. So I mean, but that's just because, the stopgap in that, the fucking plug that you put in there, the solution to that problem isn't being able to make that deal work as a wholesale or whatever. It's monetizing that deal as a listing, right?
Right.
That's number one. Monetize it as a listing. Like, it's always going to be a listing. And that's the caveat that I told to them whenever they were asking if we wanted to do it. I was like, yeah, absolutely. We'll help you out. We don't mind helping out. We want to do it. But 92% of these are going to be listings. So if you don't have a new agent on your team to do the listings, and you don't want to be bothered by the listings, you don't want to try this type of marketing.
Well, I mean, that's one of the best ways to convert. At least you put together a partnership with that agent, so you can do a combined marketing account, because you can do that, and they can help with the marketing. Every one of those listings, if it throws a chunk back into your marketing, it lets you have exponential growth. Yeah,
but if you're an agent, you don't have to worry about that. So there's all types of different ways to monetize that. But now the expectation has to be set that people understand that you're going to make money on this marketing. Your cost per acquisition is going to be somewhat lower. You'll have some really good equity deals, but you can also run through the marketing is so cheap to deliver that you can deliver it. I mean, you could beat a whole county down to nothing. I mean, in no time. You could have talked to everybody in the county. You know what I mean? I was in Erie, Pennsylvania. Shouldn't have said that. I was in Mexico City, Mexico, doing a mastermind, and looked up, and there's only 99,000 records in the county. That's $20,000 to market to the entire county.
Now, is that? Well, I'm not even gonna ask you that's interesting. I would love to dig into that number, but because I have some questions about it, but probably not on this live. I would hate to bang up somebody.
Well, actually, that was the town. That was the town. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Small markets, you can talk to everybody. Corsicana has 20,000 people.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure me and you could call everybody in Axtell by ourselves.
Yes, no, that's what I did it. I marketed to an entire town. It's a problem. It's a problem. Believe me, it is a problem. Like, I marketed to an entire town, and they knew it was me. They were going to Facebook saying, "Hey, did anybody else get a voicemail from Corey Thompson today?" Like, yeah, I got one too. Like, oh fuck, bad idea. You know what I mean? But I mean, the delivery mechanism is so cheap now that you can saturate a market instantly. And these guys with deep pockets are already doing it. You know, they might not be doing it now because, dude, those large operations, their conversion rates, right now, if you're a small time operator, if you drive for dollars for most of your leads, if you bandit sign for most of your leads, like, think about this. Cities are not working right now. Entire code enforcement, okay, are not out. The flip side to that is nobody else is out either.
That's why my trailer's parked in front of my house right now, because they like to come by and tag it. So I mean, code enforcement ain't enforcing nothing today.
Code enforcement is not out there picking up your bandit signs, but nobody else is out either. So I mean, where would be the best place to bandit sign right now? Spoon? HEB. I mean, you just get one somewhere around HEB, and you got a fucking billboard. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no kidding, right? Like, it might be worth going out there in a big sandwich board and walking around the parking lot and talking to all the people standing in line to get their food. Like, hey, you might be seen as insensitive too.
I don't know if I would talk to anybody, but I mean, where could you? Is there a place, like, is there a person that lives next to HEB that you could go pay right now that doesn't have any income coming in, that you could pay right now less than your marketing budget would ever be for this month to put a fucking magnet in their yard, a big fucking banner of some sort in their yard?
Bro, I'm breaking out today after I finish hauling this load of stuff around, I'm breaking out my 6x10 marquee sign again.
Could you put a marquee, you know, in a guy's yard next to HEB who is sitting at home now because he couldn't go to work at his restaurant or couldn't go wherever? Would he let you set that marquee up and say, "I buy houses"?
I don't know. It's worth a shot.
I mean, if you're going to door knock anything, that'd be the dude to door knock.
We know right now that there's only, like, if so I'm expecting Johnson County to go on lockdown next week. What's that?
I love that your crystal ball works for more than just real estate.
Well, it's just a guess based on last week. The mayor was saying we should all still go out and eat inside restaurants. Yesterday, he closed down all of them. Said, you know, I'm making fun of all this on.
Yeah, but no, the state closed them down way before then.
Yeah, but not here. Our mayor was like, "Nah, screw that. We eating out," and he was encouraging people eating out. All I'm saying is, now they're only letting 50 people in HEB at a time. They're actually starting to take this seriously here.
But HEB's got the curbside.
Yep, and that's what we're using. You just have to plan 4 days out.
I'm not talking about how you're taking care of your personal needs, Spoon. I'm talking about putting a marquee in front of the curbside deal.
The delivery?
Like, yes. Like, the guy that lives across from HEB right now. "Sir, you're quarantined. Would you take $500 a month to let me put this in your yard?"
I love it.
"Thank you. Here's the first $500. I'll see you."
See if you can find me some more than marquee signs. We'll put them everywhere up here.
You don't even need a marquee sign. You can do it with a bandit sign.
We could do that.
You know, the part of this, at least for me, a lot of this makes sense. A lot of it doesn't make sense. But most people are still going to go out to the grocery store for somebody. You know what I mean? Most people right now might be hunkered down, not looking to sell. You know what I mean? Title companies are going to be hard to work with. There's going to be all sorts of obstacles. I mean, we got one $8,000 deal on the board right now. Do you know where it's at in title?
I don't, and they texted me, or they've been trying to call me about the other one that you sent me.
Is it good to go?
I don't know. She called me during this call.
I forgot about that one. It's not on the board.
So
that's a
monster.
It's not a monster, but I mean it's $10,000 house.
Yeah. So
that's rented.
She told me like we need to talk about it. So I don't know if that's good or bad, but my title company right now is not letting people inside. They're doing drive-through closings. To close, you can't. They're not letting agents come with people. They're not letting you bring family members. Right now, if you're elderly, they'll let you in the building to come sit down, or you have a condition where you have to sit down. If not, they're expecting you to stay in your car. You hand them your driver's license through the window. They look at it, and then you sign all your stuff. And they're doing this all at arm's length. So things are definitely getting weirder just on closings.
But what I'm saying, live comm number on a bandit sign in a yard across from HEB or next to HEB. Might not even have to pay that much to get it in the yard, but either way, you're going to be capturing leads. Lead flow might seem slow, might be hard to get it across the finish line right now, but it's something that's cheap and easy to do to build that out. The other form of marketing that is going to be the absolute best, that's going to be free, I'm not going to talk about on here because I'm just not going to talk about it. But there's right now.
Oh, I bet we're thinking just alike. I bet
it's not. It's going to be so lucrative.
I bet.
And people will be talking about, oh, how that's fucked up, man. That's fucked up.
Bro, I bet the marketing that I was working on yesterday, that I'm loading into the dollar, while we were talking about, is right on par with what you're thinking right now.
Well, yeah, and because if you got buying power right now, there's a ton of people out there that lost all their buying power. Their hard money lenders backed out on them, left them at the altar. There's a ton of sellers that are getting left at the altar. I
got one this morning from a wholesaler. Buyer walked.
Of course, the buyer walked. Like, look, if you call up your favorite lender right now, we're going through lender training this afternoon. This afternoon, we will be officially hard money lenders at 3:30 this afternoon, whatever time it is now. We'll go through the lender training and we will become hard money lenders.
It's awesome.
That right there. I've been seeing the emails that have came out from the owner of the company. This dude is going for market share, and he's so astute to the fact that he's pretty much the last man standing that he's going to not price gouge, but points and fees and everything else are going to go up. So even if you do have a relationship with a hard money lender, you're going to have so much equity on the deal that the numbers will make sense, right? And you're going to have to bring more cash to be able to close it. Well, how many people are going to be willing to risk all that right now? You got to know what you're doing. You're going to have to be able to manage it as a rental, top to bottom, to get through this little valley. Like, we got a property management company, people. If you don't want to manage your own rentals, reach out. We'll help you out. But
if Dalton won't mow the yards, I'll make sure somebody does, because I'm really good at finding yard mowers.
Well, he went and mowed somebody else's yard yesterday. Did he tell you that? Did he call you to try to figure out where to go?
No, but I called and it's like, hey, homie, I have an RV park that needs to be mowed, like a whole one. I don't understand why you're not mowing yards right now. I told him if he would bring the dump trailer, I have a person living there that owes me $200 that is literally cleaning out those old trailers and hauling stuff to the dump for free right now to help make up for rent. Bring the dump trailer, and
we got to have the dump trailer out west. But that doesn't.
Hey, do you think we can buy another dump trailer in these downtimes?
I mean, you got some money you want to throw down? It just ain't nothing between you but air and opportunity. I mean, there's somebody with a dump trailer for sale.
Huh? I guarantee you, if the rates just hit zero on Chevy trucks, with 6 months no pay and 72 months on the back end, I bet we can get a dump trailer.
Oh, you're talking about from the dealer.
Yeah.
I bet you somebody's probably looking to tote some notes. I mean, inventory sitting there don't do you any good.
I might have to go make some calls, man, because if we had a trailer right now, I could be doing a lot of damage getting stuff cleaned up. We'll talk about that some other time.
It's a good idea. But no, I think with all of this, to be able to still be a buyer in this market, I mean, people just don't have to recognize what they've forgot about in this meteoric uprise, that the people with the money are going to be making the rules. They're going to be dictating who's going to do what and when they're going to do it and how they're going to do it. So if you got a little bit of entitlement in your system, and you know what I mean, and you're hanging sellers out to dry, because you can't make your $30,000 lick, you're gonna have a rude awakening. I mean, I'm not saying it's not good to do it, but if you got a seller that can sell and a buyer that will buy, and you got a property contracted for 40 and you're asking 70, but there's a guy standing there with 45, right? You better humble yourself and take that 45, because you made an agreement to that seller, and that seller probably needs that money now more than ever. But if you don't,
I'm going to say this right now. If you're trying to make a $30,000 lick off a seller in these times, and you could get it sold and make a $2,000 lick,
look, spoon. We don't know that somebody wouldn't jump all over that at 70 in this example. Right?
You didn't let me finish.
Oh,
let me finish. If you can't sell it at your price, I don't know what it'll sell for.
Right.
But you could sell it for a couple thousand and get that seller out of their situation. In this situation we're in, as a human race, you're a freaking dirtbag. Yeah. If you don't close on that deal and help them move on. I know you want your 30K in your pocket and you might get it, but
might need it.
What's
definitely
that?
Need it. I said you might need it. Might definitely need it. We need 30,000 right now.
Absolutely. I'm just saying, like, if you can get something sold right now and you're not helping the seller out that is depending on it, then it's a shitty move.
And it's a silly move, because, I mean, look, buyer, it's about to be a buyer's market. I think it already is in the wholesale world. I think it already is a buyer's market. It's no longer a seller's market.
So I called my bank yesterday, and I ain't just like other people. I'm asking for every forbearance I can, right? Because this is the weirdest shit I've ever seen in my life. And I called, and my bank said literally all we've been doing today are forbearances the whole day.
Yeah, no, every bank's doing it.
And I said, well, hopefully I don't have to call you back next month. I got a 1 month kick on this deal. And they're like, well, it'll be fine if you do, because they don't want the avalanche of stuff coming back, right? Like
well, you need to ask for 90 days up front.
Okay.
Just ask for 90 days. Why? Because it's what they're given. Okay. We've had several sub twos reach out to us. I mean, it's pretty normal right now. Now, funny thing is, our owner finance buyers have not been beating us up. They have not been reaching out asking for anything. That's just a testament to who's in the owner finance class. Right?
I know somebody yesterday that went down their whole bill list, called Verizon, they called Singular, whoever. They called every one of them and said, hey, I don't know if I'm paid this month. And they're all like, cool, we'll work it out. That's craziness. That we've reached a point.
I've done that. I've done that when I got laid off in the oil field. I've called all my lenders and bill collectors and everybody else and said, hey, I ain't got it, bro. And they've always all will work with you.
Oh, yeah, I got it. I'm doing it.
Just most people will never really go out and approach it that way. But there's a huge amount of I talked about this with my dad, and he was unbearable to deal with yesterday. But I was like, Dad, y'all aren't doing the math on this. I'm like, how many billions of dollars do you drive by every time you drive to College Station from your house? How many billions of dollars do you drive by? And that's just a fucking 60-minute drive. And you drive past billions of dollars worth of real estate. Billions of dollars, literally. And now the government's going to step in and service all that debt. Nobody's doing the math. Like nobody is doing the math. And, you know, I mean, it's just, it can't long term that, I mean, every small lender, everybody has the capability to help enough, right? Like, but there's still people that are working, still people that have the ability to pay, still people that are doing that, you know, might not need to reach out and ask for it right now at this moment because they don't need it. You know what I mean? It's kind of got to like hit like an 8-cylinder engine. You know what I mean? When it's your time to fire, you got to fire. But if you got the ability to pay, I mean, I got a bill right here. I would love to call them up and be like, hey, I can't do it, bro. But in our situation, the biggest part that's hard for us is we want to be able to help our tenants out if they need help. Okay. So we are wording our emails and crafting our emails like that. We are reaching out to our lenders because we have no idea how many tenants are going to need help. So that's the unknown part. Out of 200 tenants, 10% reach back out to us. So we've got 20 that are looking for some sort of assistance. You know, we're working with them best we can. We want to all get through this together, but we've had banks reach out to us and offer it to us. So we took the whole 90 days because, you know, if we need it, we need to be able to pass it on to tenants. We need to be able to pass it on to whoever. But if we collect that money, if we collect it, you know, if we get all of our rent, we're still going to pay all of our bills.
Right.
Because, you know, there's all it is a loan. I mean, that's essentially what most people don't realize. Like when you're asking for this, you're asking for a loan. I mean,
oh yeah, literally. That's all mine did. They sent me a 1-page doc that kicked the due date back and moved the balance 1 month down the road, right? Like it, all you're doing is asking to shift your loan amount. I don't know, man. It's going to be interesting times. You know, with beyond the real estate, I just hope people around here start taking this shit seriously. And they either actually social distance or we say fuck it and we just have a party, because you know we need to get past this and get back to rebuilding the economy.
I don't know what you're talking about, Spoon.
All I'm saying, I'm just saying, like, I don't think most people are taking the coronavirus seriously, and they won't until they have to.
We're 5 foot apart.
You are. I mean, you may already be infected. You said she had it earlier, so I don't know. It may be fine. Y'all can.
She had mud butt for a few days.
Oh, God bless. I didn't want to know that.
No, there's things that you know, there's a lot of school of thought to that. I don't know what exercise we're on right now because if we really are going to say that social distancing for 2 weeks is going to cure us, it's not, because it's not. I mean, it's just not. There's if we know everybody that has it, if we get everybody tested and know for sure certain, you know, these are the humans that have it and they need to continue to stay indoors, and we can keep those human indoors, right? That's the other thing. There's some guys that are not. There's a guy in Kentucky that's police are sitting at his house because
I've already told you what I thought about that dude. Like that dude, they should solve that problem permanently.
But whatever that situation is, you know, there's a whole other side of the coin with people like me that have like, I believe I've already survived this. Could I get an antibody test right now? You know what I mean? Is it there at a certain point the cure becomes worse than the disease?
Absolutely.
What we're doing right now, and if we did this for 3 months, if we had a 3-month exercise, the government cannot service all of the debt. It would literally take an entire, it's fucking Fight Club. We just got to hit the reset button and start over because there's no grinding way back out of it. It's whatever. We're all equally poor at that moment in time. You know, not all of us. Some of us will still have enough ammo to defend our pond, right? For a time.
Well, I know that there's going to be a series of small warlords made.
Look, I'm not even a conspiracy theorist. It just doesn't work that way. Think about it like this. Right now, everybody is playing nice, right? Has a Best Buy been looted yet? If it has, it hadn't made the news. Has anybody decided, you know what, I need a new couch?
So there was some.
This ain't open, so I'm gonna go over here and just kick the door in and get me a new couch. Has anybody done that yet?
Well, there has been small scale looting in certain places. Megan's texted me they were having, oddly enough, like looting in Ruidoso the other day. One of her friends lives up there, but there ain't nothing to loot in Ruidoso.
It doesn't matter, Spoon. Everybody's playing nice right now. Okay. Now, give every soft target. Put every soft target out there in the whole wide world. Okay. Just in your hometown. Just think about your hometown, where you can get a computer, an iPad, an Xbox, some new shoes, whatever it is that people think they're entitled to that they don't think they need to pay for right now. Okay. And now my phone breaks and I can't buy one, but I need one, right? I need it. Got to have it. Think I'll go get me one, right? Oh, man, I'm really bored at home. I ain't got nothing to do. I know where there's an Xbox One, though, and ain't nobody guarding it.
So
it ain't happened yet. It ain't happened yet, okay?
Look, hey, dude, do you know there's a saying? So I learned, look, I've been all over the world. Jacob's been all over the world. You've been all over the world doing stuff.
I've not been all over the world. I've been to Mexico.
Okay, well, Jacob's been overseas working. I've been overseas working. And until you work in a real hostile place, you don't really understand how terrible people can be, right? Like, I worked with a dude every day who was awesome. He was a cool Turkish guy. He didn't come to work one day. I'm like, hey, where's homie at? And they're like, oh, he went home yesterday and his brother's head was laying on his bed. He decided not to come back to work.
I know how awful people can be.
So my point is, a saying I heard back when I was doing Army contracting was the difference between anarchy and chaos is 2 meals. And that's very true. People start getting really weird when they and their kids haven't eaten for a couple of days.
It's not even about, I'm not talking about rational human beings who would go out and steal food to feed their family. That is a rational decision. Listen to me. Listen.
I understand what you're saying too.
No. Nobody, no, you're not understanding what I'm saying. Their entitlement, okay, is entitlement. Okay. When you feed into it, when you feed into entitlement, and all of a sudden I believe that I'm owed something that I didn't have to work for. Understand it. Right now, what are we seeing be fed? Entitlement.
Yes.
It's being fed. It's being fed to be pacified, right?
Mm-hmm.
What happens when you can't pacify it? It's going to go somewhere. Now, this entitlement's it's not a rich problem. It's not a poor problem. It's just it goes across all classes. You don't have to like. There are rich people right now that think they're entitled to test. Okay, what are they going to do when they don't get a test?
Well, right now they're getting them because they're paying enough money to get them. You're seeing it in UK. They're paying more than you because they have
exactly. So they're going to rob a resource from somebody that needs it because they can. They're going to have people helicopter in what they need that's going to take resources away from people who need it. Okay. Now, when that entitlement reaches the other entitlement where, oh man, I'm not owed this.
Well, I want a new Supreme wallet. You know, I need
whatever it is. That has not showed up yet. It hadn't showed up yet. Okay. But when it does show up, there's real problems. Containing the virus no longer is the problem because if you have people doing this and you have officers distracted from this, now you know what I mean? Like it just becomes this thing. And then it like I watched a deal about a problem that was in our past. Like so, you know, a city got anyways, 916 fires were lit. 916 fires were lit in one day.
So that arsonist, he's been keeping it down forever. He's like, I can't do this. I can't do this. Now he can. He's out. Boom. Boom.
In 916 fires lit in one day. Okay. People, as long as people are playing nice, everybody will be in agreement that that staying at home and watching Netflix is a good idea. But as soon as people stop playing nice, you know, large population centers being the ones that are going to have the hardest time with it because they have a bunch of people to deal with, not a lot of resources to deal with them right now. And, you know, when civil unrest becomes real, things will happen. It'll get weird. And that's when everybody will finally go, you know what? I think I'd rather keep grandma inside and get me some coronavirus. I think I would rather let this play out the way it needs to play out. It's not about being broke or rich or anything. It's about being, when the idea of the institution breaks down, right? When I realize nobody can protect me but me, okay? And I'm sitting here, oh my gosh, I got to protect myself and my family for real. Like I don't have, you know what I mean? Like in
the Supreme Court, the police do not have a duty to protect people.
I'm not worried about that. There ain't enough. They.
Yes, that's it. So that's the whole point of what I'm trying to say. It is a false fallacy that there is something out here to protect us. There ain't enough police in the world. There ain't enough.
Yes, but there's people are working, and they bought into a system that provides for them and their family, and so they're working and creating, and it gives them a sense of gratitude. It gives them a sense of security. It gives them a sense of all that. And you take that away, okay? You take that away because there's a virus that's going to kill them. And if they're more afraid of the virus, right? Because it's like, oh, the virus is going to kill me. I'll take off and go inside. Sounds good to me. Oh, shit. I went to the grocery store today, and it doesn't have anything. And I need something, right? And I went to another grocery store, and I went to another grocery store, and I went to another grocery store. Now, I've probably got the virus anyways, because I've been to so many grocery stores, but it still didn't have the things I need. I still can't get the things that I need. I've got to go get the things that I need. That's one. Number two is I'm just sitting here bored, and I wish I had an Xbox. And now with social media, boom, hell, he got away with getting an Xbox. I love bad ideas. I think I'll go get me one. There's a guy down the road that's got an Xbox store too. Bang. And boom, boom, boom. Now resources being robbed. I mean, it's just a nightmare scenario. But
like a couple of days ago, one of our dairies here that they sell raw milk and they sell eggs. Somebody broke in and stole all the eggs. Like that's just craziness. We ain't even at that point yet. And somebody went in and robbed their whole freaking stock. Like how do you black market eggs? Like,
where?
Here in Cleveland.
Somebody stole all the eggs.
Yes.
And you believe they're selling them?
I don't know what they're doing. Maybe they're hoarding them in the fridge. I got no idea.
They're probably eating omelets.
And they don't have a huge flock. I mean, it's probably 100 birds, but you put together a couple hundred eggs in your fridge. I mean, the people are already doing it. Is my point.
Oh yeah. But I mean, I don't want to see any of that happen, and I'm not predicting any of it, and I'm not calling any of those shots. I'm just saying when that starts happening, the anxiety gets ramped up, everything gets, and it kind of all goes out the window eventually. And we don't want to see that. That's why, when you triggered me, that's how we got on this conversation, because you're like, oh, everybody just needs to stay indoors. I'm like, yeah, I can't even get Dalton to stay indoors. Dalton will go hang out with his friends all day, but won't go mow grass. You know what I mean?
Like I told Dalton, he's an idiot.
That's 20-year-old mentality. We got nothing but free time now. We ain't got no jobs. What are we going to do? Whose pasture are we meeting in? You know what I mean? They're not congregating. They're congregating more than ever. Why? Because all they got is time. You put them back to work. But it's just it's gonna be interesting. It's not hard for me or you to stay indoors, right? We're 35 and half-assed lazy anyways, so sitting around watching some good films on Netflix for a week or two seems right up our alley. But there's a lot of people that they can't tone that down.
I'll tell you what's funny is all the articles, like I read a lot of tech stuff because my background is all the articles about how stressed the internet is because everybody's at home watching Netflix.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think we're streaming right now. You're a little choppy, but you look all right. That might just be the camera. But overall though, from the real estate perspective, we covered it earlier. The buyers are going to make all the rules for the next little while, and a lot of wholesalers are going to have to get used to that, and they can't let their own entitlements get in the way of a seller selling a house. And that and if that ends up happening, it's whatever. Also the other thing, you got to underwrite everything as a rental, and you better be underwriting it using the 2% rule, because you're seeing it right now. we got that small rental portfolio. Some of it's still on 12% interest, correct? We refied. How many of those refis went through before it crashed?
All of the one, well, the only one that's on 12% is that little $40,000 loan. The two package. Everything else refied. The other one, we have one in Granbury that hasn't refied out.
I was about to say that single wide in Granbury didn't refi.
No, that one didn't either. We got 3 out of the 6 refied.
And it's sitting on 12% interest only right now.
Mm-hmm.
Is it cash flowing?
I would assume it is with the note. I mean, we're making $750 a month right now, every month. But I haven't done the math, so I'm gonna have to look at it. I'm just saying I haven't done the math.
Collecting $750.
Yeah, collecting.
So the rent's $750. The loan on that's like $35.40. So 12% interest only, that's $350. You've got a little bit of tax, a little bit of insurance, and how many maintenance calls have you made out there? Zero, because that's not how they roll.
No, they don't want me in their front door. As long as I stay away, they'll pay the rent.
That's it. And we bought that one occupied, and it's making a little bit of money. And the reason why is because it was underwritten as a 2% rental. I mean, that unit would rent for about $850, but it makes a little bit of money right now as it is, as long as there's no major maintenance issues. But and the rest of them, I mean, it just kind of works out now. Can we get a refi on that right now? Be interesting to see.
Maybe. I have no problem making that call to the bank, seeing if they'll do it.
Well, have to look at how much cash we have on hand. We still doing, we're still moving forward with the Pecos remodel. How long till it's done?
God, I don't know, man. Like he still ain't got the paint yet on the outside. So I'm hoping, huh?
It's raining.
I understand that. That's what the weather has kept him from doing that. The garage should be done. They redid the roof on it. That was the last thing to go. And they were working on the inside Sunday. His son was over there yesterday working on the electrical, cleaning it all up. So I would think another week if we can get enough time to dry it out, like just dry and paint the outside.
Spraying the outside with paint doesn't take that long. And probably if he's slowed down and grinding to things he can't work on there, you can move him over to Crescent.
Okay.
I mean,
yeah, because he'll want to get some money. So
yeah, but on the doing what he's doing over there on Pecos, I mean, he obviously wants to have all the inside stuff. But if all we're waiting for is the paint job on the outside, did you get the garage door done? Still no.
He just finished. He was working on the garage Saturday when I was over there. That was being wait till he was done there. So I'll make the call. I'll go over there. I don't know. I'll call him and see if he's done with the garage, and then I'll go check. His son was working on getting the plug installed and stuff like that, cleaned up in the ceiling for a garage door opener.
So we've got a company that is insuring deposits. So for $10 extra a month per tenant, or 10 to 20, whatever it is, the tenant doesn't have to put down a deposit, and if they default, the insurance company pays their deposit.
That's badass.
And we just got enrolled and just had our first tenant sign up. So the tenant didn't have to put down a deposit. They signed up in Rhino, and now it's going.
I screenshot a couple of days ago too, in a thread in like one of the big wholesaling groups. There's a group out there that's insuring tenants rental now too, or rent. I don't know any more than that. I'll send it to you and Jake and let y'all look at it. But that's what they were saying in the thread was for whatever insurance policy, if your renters drag up, they'll pay out a certain amount of it or all of it.
What an interesting concept.
I don't know how you make money doing that.
You make any insurance. But I mean, look, I'm thinking about it right now. Like, what kind of capital would you have to have? Like, so you would need a bond, probably. So you've got that capital sitting there, got a bond sitting there, and you then, I don't know. You'd have to. I wonder what it takes to create a bond. So you create a bond, People can now buy the bond. People are buying bonds because the stock market's doing shit. Get $1 million in a bond. You can pay it out, and then you start taking on customers. So you start taking a portion of the landlord. So you say you take $20 a month, and you enroll 1,000 landlords. That's $20,000 a month on that $1 million bond that you would only have to pay out X number of dollars if they defaulted, and then you're outpacing the default rate. I mean, it sounds kind of like a Ponzi scheme, but you're outpacing the default rate on new customers, and you got $1 million that you're having to pay bond debt on. How would it work, Spoon? Come on, let's build this business. Let's do it.
Enough to do that math.
I mean, I'm sitting here thinking that's a genius idea. I think I would, that maybe that's what this crisis creates. A new company like that. I mean, that's unbelievable. I wouldn't have gave up $20 a month 2 months ago. Now I'm like, sign me up. Let's take it. 3 months? You gonna pay out 3 months? Let's go. Got a whole bunch of tenants that we need to insure right now. When can I make my first payment?
What if you package that together? Like, hey, we're covering you for 3 months if you put in the $20 on your own. Couldn't do that.
No. Because the insurance don't pay out. You know what I'm saying? Like there's probably something tied to that judgment.
I got you.
You know what I mean? Because so you're going to get a judgment. You're going to get a default judgment for the tenant doing it. And if you're the bond company or the insurance company, now you get to possess that judgment because you're going to pay, X number of dollars on that policy. So you get the judgment. Now you can go enforce that judgment if you want against this tenant, put a bill collector on it, let it collect interest, whatever the law says. There's two sides of that business. It isn't just we're going to pay people's rent for them. It ain't charity. I promise you.
Right. Yeah. And so, bottom line, I don't know the answer. Like I said, I ain't smart enough to figure out that math. I'll see if I can find that thread though and shoot it to you. Then y'all can call them and ask them questions.
Oh, I ain't worried too much about it. I think overall we'll probably collect rent, so should be all right.
I do too.
What else you got, Spoon?
That's it, man. I want to get on to some marketing today and see if my crystal ball fails me or if it helps me.
Spoon, stand up. I want to see if
it's my shirt. I don't know. It's kind of funny.
No,
shirt.
It's a reflection from your computer. So when you stand up, stand up, because I can see. I want to tell you what I see when you're standing up. I see it on you. There's a fireplace.
Oh, pretty cool. You've got like a green screen thing going on.
Yeah, there's a TV. There's a fireplace. There's a couch. Where's that at?
I don't know how it's green screening because I don't have that.
Is that not
It is.
Trend?
What is going on here?
How are you green screening somebody's living room? Because that ain't your living room, is it?
I don't know. That's the coolest shit I've seen in a long time.
I was like, that.
How do we? That is amazing.
That's funny.
I'm gonna wear green tomorrow, so I'm just like somebody's living room. And
that's. I was like, okay, so it's not your internet connection. It's something, some weird setting you have on your computer.
I don't even know how that's happening. Like, I don't have
the government, man. The guy that's watching us is that's what his camera shows.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. It'd be funny if we just saw a fat dude's face eating Cheetos there.
So this is what the government looks like when they watch you. Man, them boys doing good.
Well, I guess. Do
you want Clarissa to work on anything in batch? Do you want her to be sending some text?
Absolutely. Anything she can. Like fire up. That would be great.
All right. When she gets back, I'll get her working on that. Is it everything you got? You're still going to REI Black Book? You're still bringing follow up and all that?
Yeah. And we're
calling back REI Black Book. Is Nick working on it, or
Nick's working on REI Black Book? I've got him doing that follow up with seems to be with the other stuff going on in his life right now. That seems to be he's taking care of that. With like these two that are coming in from the cold callers, I'll take care of those today just to see what they are. One looked like a real estate agent's phone number. You know, it was a whole lot of zeros and 555-0000. I doubt that's a end user, but we'll find out. We'll see what the other one is. We just got a text back on Call Tools. She just texted me and asked me to look at, so I got to figure that out too. But I don't know if I can see her text while that's happening, so that's going to be an interesting thing. The only thing I don't like about the Call Tools, literally the only thing I don't like about it, is with other ones like ZenCall, you can actually set up 30 different agents, even though they're only using one seat in your dollar. And they can take turns. So if you have people calling in 3-hour shifts, you could have 4 different people running in the same seat in a day, but it keeps individual records for each one. So you know what their conversion rate is, all that. On Call Tools, they don't allow you to do that. Only one person can be logged into the dialing side at any given time. So I can't log into hers and like look at it from her perspective. Without her logging out. So that's a little annoying.
Well, all right.
What do we got here? I'm getting text. Oh, Kaufman County just logged down.
Who texted you that?
Luis. He just asked me if I needed him in call rep. But, huh?
That's random.
Yeah, it is random.
Needed you there this whole time.
What's that?
Said we needed you there this whole time.
Roger Dodger. But
you could have been dialing. You've had access to the whole damn thing the whole time. I mean, is what it is.
I've just been tasked to set my daughter up to scoop poop.
Well, have fun with that. I'm about to set up this webinar for the deal that Stuart sold the other day. $7 webinar. Since I'm not drawing any checks, Spoon.
I got an idea for a webinar for you.
Let's do it.
And you need to, not for me, you need to do it and get the fuck out of his way. You need to set up Richard, or whatever his name is. It's a fucking super sales guy, smiling dog, dude. Y'all need to do a webinar on how to actually like work leads like him.
You know about Richard Shelton?
Yes.
The guy that wholesaled a bank?
Yes.
Video on this YouTube channel right here.
What's that?
You can catch that video on this YouTube channel of him wholesaling a bank. Yeah, I mean Richard's probably about to be quarantined too. I went to Home Depot yesterday to get a bid room bid. Drove to a town that's 3 hours away to get it from the town that the work's going to be taking place in. That also doesn't have coronavirus, and got there and was too late to be able to get the bid. So got to do that tomorrow. But I see Richard's at Home Depot every day down there. So as soon as we all end up on lockdown, I really do believe that if people are doing it ethically and not trying to price gouge you and can get you some value during this time, that you should take advantage of it, because I promise you, as much pain as webinars are for me to set up and hold, I want no part of this once this is over. I want no part of it. Like I've offered up 2 webinars so far. Okay. I've got the sub 2 webinar that I haven't pushed, but everybody said they were interested in. It's $27. And then I offered up a beginner webinar for my oilfield friends, but that's for this is what wholesaling is. This is how you flip houses. This is how you flip contracts. Very rudimentary, basic deal. But none of those guys are taking advantage either. So I don't fault them, because my ad copy sucks. Everything sucks. You know what I mean? It's just a shot in the dark to see if it would work, and I could help some people that are in the oil field get over into real estate. Didn't work. The sub 2, I don't know, man. I got a $27 sub 2 webinar out there, Spoon. It's posted in the group. It's going to be there's going to be some real opportunity showing up in that space, but you better damn well know what you're doing when you get ready to do those. And my $27 webinar is going to be like a 4-hour fucking marathon. I think we've sold 2 tickets. Yeah, so overall, I mean, I don't really want to waste my time. It took me 4 hours to set up the webinar. It's costing me $300 a month to host the platform to have the webinar.
Right.
And I just took no pay from the company. And people don't really want to take advantage. And I don't blame them if they don't have any money. But if you're wanting to, if you ain't got shit to do during this quarantine, you better take advantage of some of these fucking webinars. Because if you don't, when you come out, if you don't have that skill set, you're gonna get popped in the mouth anyways.
Yeah, I'll buy one of those seats, man. That's awesome because there's
$7 sub 2 webinar. Like you get to fucking talk to me every day. I'm not worried about that. Like it's not.
But
It's
here's what people don't understand about sub 2. Like, so I've done one, right? And it was a really sketch situation for me because I thought I had this thing whole sold. My buyer walked at the last minute. But Corey said, just do it, take it down. We'll help you through it if it gets weird. And they did. I had to borrow the money from Jacob and you just to close the deal because I didn't have the $2,000 that day.
It don't. But that deal. See, and then on that one right there being a prime example. You're an electrician.
Yep.
License, and you had to go out there and straighten out that electrical.
Yes, I'm not a licensed electrician. I don't hold.
Your dad is.
Yeah.
Your dad's a master.
Yep.
But look, that deal right there, you made money on that, $3,500, something like that.
It was right at 3,500.
But the talk to somebody else that was looking at wrapping them, and I'm like, guys, you wrap them. You can wrap them all you want. Okay. There is a great time to wrap one. There's a great time to not wrap one. Okay. You better understand what you're doing though when you get ready to do that.
And that's the point. Like if I had y'all to back me up and help me through some of those decisions, I probably would have fucked that up real bad.
Well, you better understand what you're doing because, dude, they get hard to service. They get difficult to.
That buyer was so honest that they called me and like, hey, the insurance escrow check, we got it. This is yours. I didn't even know I could do that. They called me and told me they sent me the check.
The insurance escrow check. The escrow check is the biggest. It's like bonus money, but it's also a liability if you don't know what to do with it. I mean, there's so many trip hazards.
They actually cashed that check. Mm-hmm. She called me. It was in her name because I didn't even move stuff over into my name.
You get a power of attorney. You did.
I had a power of attorney.
But yes, that's right. Because I called you and I was like, hey, did you get the power of attorney? And you were like, yeah, I got the power of attorney. I'm like, did you change the address because you're going to get that escrow check? And you're like, I did not. I'm like,
but it was in her name. She was so honest. She cashed it and wrote me a personal check. And it was her insistence. No, this is yours. You helped us through the problem. That almost never happens.
Nope.
That is free money to them.
That insurance, that escrow check, those escrow overages are the checks that you get the most often in somebody else's name that you have a power of attorney to cash that is a trip hazard on a sub 2. There's all sorts of stuff. So anyways, I don't know if I.
Hey, do you want me to call back one of these cities that I'm guessing you must have dropped signs in is calling about one of our live com numbers right now?
Really?
Yeah.
Which live com is it? The Spanish?
I'm guessing so. They keep calling back. Let's see what this one says. Oh, they didn't leave a message. One lady called from the city. She's like, "Hey, I would like to talk to you. I don't know if you put any signs in cities or how many you did."
Is it for the owner finance?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Put them in the city. Yeah, I'm gangster, man. I ain't scared. But at least the city's calling. Now they can be on our text blast.
Yeah. They're on it. My VA in Ecuador just keeps smashing them.
Yeah, like this and that, blah, 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 blah. Like, be like, I don't know what happened. There's those signs. We paid a marketing company to put those signs out. Sorry about that.
That's what I'm going to tell them. Like, I don't know. I don't do signs. I do internet leads. I put stuff on Craigslist.
Okay. Well, I'll holler at you, Spoonie.
All right. Bye.